it will always take an intermediate inventive mind to go from the research to the world of practice. And I think that's still true. We don't have the equivalent of people who keep an eye on the journals and figure out how to get that stuff into classrooms. I lived on the same street as PS 79 and spent most of my youth in the schoolyard of PS 79. It was a great neighborhood to grow up in. People were nice. They watched out for you. It was safe. It felt like a small town, actually, when I hear people talk of small towns. It's a lovely place to grow up in. I was trained as a behaviorist and had a pretty strong ideology about how to do research and what learning theory was and all of that. And, fortunately, I changed over the years, and I'm very pleased with the changes that have occurred. Wonderful kids, although Beth Ann was a charming child until she reached 14, and then woke up a miserable human being. And at 17, she woke up a charming woman again. And, she was great. And Brett was very steady, very quiet. He didn't talk much when he was a kid. I do expect to retire eventually, but that obligation to criticize and speak up doesn't stop when I lose my tenured professorship. It just means that the university can distance itself from me, happily, and I can fulfill my obligations as a citizen in the same ways that I tried to fulfill them as an academic. You read, you write, you think, you argue, you drink wine, you eat well. And I wrote the book with Bruce, and we sold 50,000 copies. And, for a book with tables and figures, that's a remarkable achievement. In the hierarchy of things, you have to understand, our book came out the same time Colin Powell's book came out, same publisher. They published 700,000 copies of his book and 7,000 copies of ours. You could really improve teachers' classroom behavior, and you could do it. We were using micro-teaching techniques, and we could train teachers. We could get them to ask questions that are higher order. We could get them to manage classrooms different. We could teach them that in a week or two or three, and we were able to show long-term effects a year later, that their behavior not only changed, but stayed changed in ways that we all thought were positive.